All right. Let's see here. Boop. Boom. Welcome back to the Caspa Silver YouTube channel. Let me know if you guys can hear me because I have no idea. On my end, everything looks good, but I don't know. Want to make sure the mic is good and you guys hear me, so just let me know. Audio fine, perfect. Can hear you, we hear you. Perfect. All right, now I can move forward. And first, I just want to thank you guys so much because this is pretty crazy for me. I mean, 10,000 subscribers. It took about 1 year and a month. Yeah, about a year and a month to get to 10,000. Unbelievable. I mean, at the same time, believable. I mean, it was inevitable with how things were going ever since I first started. I think I got like 1,000 subs like literally in a month when I started creating content. So thank you guys so much for 10,000 subs. And honestly, I think yeah, I probably got to do a Caspa giveaway, and I'll probably do that on X. I'll do a Caspa giveaway of like 1,000 Caspa. Just as a thank you, because insane, absolutely insane. Thank you so much. But obviously, the elephant in the room is Caspa starting to do its thing like normal, like we've all been anticipating. And it's really good. I mean, the fact that it's doing this against Bitcoin, look at that breakout against Bitcoin. Nice. Now, the main thing is hopefully it does pass this trend line that I have here. Hopefully it does pass through that, because this could just be like a very large downtrend, and that could be bad. So, but nonetheless, I mean, Caspa made an all-time high today. I know it didn't make an all-time high in the price because the all-time high is 0.089, but it made an all-time high in the market cap. Let me see if I can actually grab that. Yep, right here. So here is the market cap of Caspa, and you could see that the previous all-time high for the market cap was 4.315, and it just made a new one today at 4.38. So technically, when it comes to market cap, Caspa's at all-time high. It's in new waters, never been discovered before. But in the price, it still hasn't broken the previous all-time high, which is like that 18.9 area. Now these lines I just drew as like basic resistances, and you can see that I had that resistance at the 18.3 and it broke through it, and then once it broke through it, it kind of came back down again, which is understandable. But this is a crazy candle. I mean, how many days? 1, 2, 3 days. 3 days straight of just, I mean, very similar to over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days straight. This was a whole week of Caspa just like pumping, and that was like, how many percentage was that? 50%. And so far this has been 34%. So if it's trying to repeat itself, 34%, if it's trying to repeat to 50, 20 cents. Yeah, I mean, every time it finally does its breakout to a new all-time high, you could see here that from bottom to top, which I don't know. This is like a scam wick. I wouldn't really count that one. But if we go bottom to the top, what is that? About 100%. We go back further in the past. This was like bottom. This was a new all-time high about there. Yeah. This was a 280% gain, 100% gain. So if we're gonna go for a breakout of a new all-time high from bottom to top, you know, we could see somewhere around 100% to 200%, somewhere around there, maybe. But all I could say is I'm expecting personally 50 cents to $1 by end of year. That's what I would hope for it to hit. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Caspa is a long-term game, really, really long-term game. I really do want to see it pass Ethereum Classic, and ultimately in the watch list. On the watch list here, I have like the other proof of work coins and then Ethereum, just because it's number 2. And the biggest one I think Caspa to pass is Litecoin. I really think that's a huge milestone, is passing Litecoin. Because Litecoin was probably like the best attempt of trying to really fix Bitcoin in its day, back in 2013. But obviously, you know, it's nowhere near Caspa. It's not superior to Caspa in terms of technology or fundamentals. So like Caspa is going to be used way more. Let me go ahead and look at the chat. Excited for the KRC20 coming soon. What you guys buying? Yeah, I'm excited for KRC20. Not probably for the same reason you guys would be excited for it, but I'm excited for it just simply because it's going to be bringing fees. Look at this. It's going to be bringing fees to Caspa, which is really good for miners. And more transactions, so more usage, and then a bunch of tokens. I'm not going to mess with one single token on the Caspa network. I'm going to stay the course. I'm going to keep stacking Caspa simply because this stuff will only just bring more value to Caspa. And long term, I think it would just be better holding Caspa than a token, unless you want to go ahead and try to trade. But Cplex is so new. The tokens that are coming out at the launch are going to be extremely, extremely risky. So, I mean, there's a couple tokens being launched already, and I mean, by the names of them, you can already know what's going to be happening here. So we got Boo Boo. Boo Boo, bro. Oh my goodness. What is this? Boo Boo, Chris. What Castar, Casper, Boss, Castor, Fofo, Santa. Oh my goodness. What is this? Like all of these are just nonsense. It's just, I mean, it is on test. I think there's some that are like legit, right? No, I guess these are all just testing. I don't, because I've been seeing some of them were going to be like legit meme coins, like a bunch of meme coins are coming to Caspa, but we'll see what happens. Like if I look up how many tokens are on the Solana blockchain. Tokens. I don't have a quick answer for that. Someone looked it up and showed me it, but it was Solana has like 600,000 tokens created on it, something like that. So that's a lot of adoption and usage. I mean, Solana really took over, you know, because of the tokens and everything, and the fact that it's just so much cheaper. You know, it's like a glorified Ethereum, even though I think it's worse. Infinite supplies are just long-term. Infinite supplies are horrible. Like if you're looking at Solana, it made a, you see, like, okay, it didn't break all-time high in the price, but it did break all-time high in the market cap. You see, if I look at the market cap here, it did make a new all-time high already. But because of so much dilution of the supply, because the supply is infinite, you kind of get screwed long term. It's almost as bad as holding the US dollar. I mean, it's kind of like equivalent. Long term, you're not going to be doing well. With a coin with these kind of tokenomics with like an infinite supply. And I feel like coins that like their primary use case is just building tokens exclusively, I feel like those kind of coins are like, they have their caps. When it comes to Caspa, it's more than just being able to do DeFi and tokens and all that kind of stuff. It's literally trying to become a currency. So that's the main gist and the main difference between Caspa and like everything else. Becoming a currency is a market that hasn't really been tapped into yet in the crypto space. I'm haters. I don't believe Caspa. Caspa same as Cadena. They will scam you all. Here we go with my thing is why is KDA like, why does KDA get brought up with Caspa so much? Like they're so different. It's not even funny how different they are. They're not similar at all. Like look at the circulating supply for KDA. It's only 27%. And it's been out since 2020. Like this is one thing that really, really is bad. That their circulating supply is just, their emission schedule is horrible. It's dragged out way too long. And Caspa making the emission schedule much faster was a much better decision, just simply because it compensates for adoption coming in faster, and then it allows for mining and all that to kind of grow faster as well. But at the end of the day, KDA is a company, so it's not really a cryptocurrency. It's just a company who there will always be selling pressure, because there's just people that have allocations that want to sell the coin to cover companies' cost. 2029 prediction. I don't know. I just think it will be higher than today. Question: how are tokens going to be made without smart contracts? So tokens are being made without smart contracts because of Cplex. Cplex is a third-party protocol that was made by, independent people, not related to the core Caspa dev people. And basically what they're doing is they're using something called inscriptions. And it says here, a versatile solution incorporating the data insertion protocol and open source indexer, data availability, and comprehensive APIs. So just in basic terms, I mean, it's using something called inscriptions. It's something similar to Bitcoin. And I kind of went into this. I dug into this in my last video right here, an overview of Cplex on Caspa. I kind of dug into Cplex and like how tokens and everything, because it's going to be tokens and NFTs. You don't need smart contracts to create tokens and NFTs, because you can use the UTXO system that Caspa has and all that kind of stuff. I don't know too much about the tech side of things when it comes to Cplex. I'm trying to learn it. But that's as basic as I can put it. The cool thing about this is Bitcoin has something similar, and Bitcoin struggles with what it has because it creates bloat on the network, because when too many people use Bitcoin, it slows Bitcoin down, it makes it expensive, and it also increases the storage capacity, which is very bad for nodes. Csplex has solved the issues that Bitcoin has when creating tokens, and so like they claim that Caspa won't experience any of those kind of issues of like slowness, fees getting extremely high, or network bloat, meaning that nodes, the storage requirements just get way too high as well. Okay. Why do you say that Caspa is the silver to Bitcoin being the gold when the tech is newer and better? Why can't Cas just take over BTC? It's a really, really good question. So personally, I don't believe that Caspa will overtake BTC. If it does overtake BTC, I don't believe it would happen anytime soon. I think it would need to take at least a decade. Now, the whole silver narrative, a lot of people take the silver narrative too literally. So like some people in their argument, they'll say trying to label a cryptocurrency as digital silver because Bitcoin's digital gold is scammy. It's just a marketing tactic or whatever and stuff like that. But the digital silver narrative for Caspa is not to be taken so literally, like when you think of silver, that's what Caspa is. No, the only reason it has that silver narrative is because silver was used more than gold. And Bitcoin has taken on a narrative that is digital gold. And the whole idea is the fact that long-term Caspa, the whole point is to have it be used way more than Bitcoin. Now, something being used way more than Bitcoin doesn't mean it surpasses Bitcoin. Ethereum is used way more than Bitcoin. There's way more transactions on Ethereum. There's way more transactions on Solana. There's way more transactions on Litecoin than Bitcoin. But nothing in a significant kind of range when you're looking at like Ethereum compared to Litecoin's usage. You know, it's nothing as significant. Now, Caspa is basically giving you both of, you know, two sides of both worlds. You're getting the Bitcoin world and the Ethereum world on Caspa, but it's keeping true to the roots that made Bitcoin great. Now, Bitcoin has a lot going for it in that I don't believe Caspa will just surpass it because Bitcoin first has 15 years on its belt. You know, Bitcoin has time on its belt. Caspa can't just catch up to it. It's always going to be behind, but as it gets older, as Caspa gets older, it'll get more trusted and reliable, and it'll continue to, I believe, outperform pretty much every single other cryptocurrency, including Bitcoin, in the long run. But Bitcoin has like network effects and adoption that took time. Now with Caspa, it will be faster, I believe, to get to that kind of adoption level. But still, you know, Bitcoin's ahead in terms of like just reliability, trust, adoption. You know, if you ask anyone about Bitcoin, they know what that is. You ask someone about Caspa, they probably don't know what that is because it's not even available everywhere. You know, that's a big hurdle for Caspa, is that it's not available everywhere. It's not on every single exchange yet. But this is the crazy thing. Despite it not being on every single exchange, it's still able to run up to a 4.3 billion market cap like nothing. And it's not even on Binance, on Coinbase. It doesn't even need those exchanges. So that is just a testament to what's happening here at Caspa. It's a movement. Like there's actually like a lot of people who believe in this coin. And they're looking to get their hands on it despite it not being easy to get. So I'm not saying it's impossible for Caspa to surpass Bitcoin, but and there's some people that believe that now. Some people full on believe that Caspa will surpass Bitcoin. But personally, you know, I buy Caspa and Bitcoin only in the whole entire crypto space. That's all I buy, just because that just fits my investing strategy in crypto and my risk tolerance and all that kind of stuff. But Caspa is still like 99% of my holdings. You know, Bitcoin is literally like not even 1% of my holding because I've went big on Caspa. Like that's my research and everything, my conviction told me Caspa is better long term in terms of ROI. Now I'm buying Bitcoin still because I still believe Bitcoin could surpass gold one day, which if it surpasses gold one day, I mean, we're looking at like a 15x. So assets by market cap. You know, gold is 15.7 trillion. Bitcoin's 1.3 trillion. You know, I believe Bitcoin is better than gold, physical gold. So, you know, but there's this whole idea that Bitcoin's going to just be this base layer of, you know, securing transactions, and then like the economy is going to be built on top of it on layer twos. But that just doesn't work long term. And I got to make a video on that, like basically kind of showing why like a layer 2 system on Bitcoin is not good long term. Like this is like one of the flaws in Bitcoin that in the longer term I think is going to hurt it. Now in the long term, I think the number will go up for Bitcoin for the time being, but like I said, like way later down the line I think it's going to face some really big struggles. Because of the fact that the base layer can't scale. That's very, very bad for a proof of work system. My thoughts on meme coins launching on Caspa. I personally don't like meme coins, so like it is what it is. Like I'm not gonna be the type that's like, oh, you know, like if you're in a meme coin, you're stupid. But it probably wouldn't be a wise thing to be in a meme coin because it is just straight up gambling at that point. But the thing is with Caspa, you have to understand Caspa is supposed to be a permissionless network. So if I'm following that vision of Caspa, which is permissionless, and it lets people do what they want with it, then I'm not like against it. I'm not against meme coins existing because it's just like freedom. Like it's permissionless. You don't need permission. If you want to make meme coins, you want to do that, that's on you. Like if you want to do that, that's fine. Now, like when it comes to Bitcoin, people are upset that tokens are being created on Bitcoin because they think that it's an attack on Bitcoin and stuff like that. But then if you have that view, then you don't believe in a permissionless system. You believe in not letting people do certain things, and you believe in censorship. So the whole point is to not have any kind of censorship and let people do what they want. So personally, I don't like meme coins. I wouldn't recommend meme coins. But nonetheless, you can't stop greed. So greed coming to Caspa is good for Caspa itself because it will bring fees. It will bring the price to hopefully continue rising in the future. Terra follows Cas. I actually made a video on that if you want to check that out a long time ago, because a lot of people used to think that Terra was like some kind of competition with Caspa, and it's not. So but yeah, I made this 7 months ago. You can check out that video. Caspa or Terra? Does Caspa have competition? Because it has block DAG in its name because it uses Caspa's technology. Hi guys, I'm a noob and new to Caspa. What's the best way to store my Caspa offline? That is a really, really good question. So I have a video that I just recently made right here. It's called Ranking Caspa Wallets You Should Use. I go over all the wallets you can hold your Caspa. Within that video, I talk about 3 different cold storage devices that you can hold your Caspa. So you can hold it on a Ledger device, which I personally have a Ledger device somewhere here. Let me actually grab that out. You can hold it on Ledger. You can hold it on OneKey. And then you can also hold it on Tantrum. And so for a complete beginner, I would recommend Tantrum. But once you start to grow your bag in Caspa and it gets like bigger, I would recommend probably Ledger. to diversify your bag, because I don't like putting all my coins in one wallet. So like right here, I have a ledger. This is a ledger right here. And there should be a link down below if you want to purchase one. And I think both of us get $10 if you use my link. So thank you if you do decide to do that. But yeah, you can get a ledger. And when you get the ledger, you can use something called Caspa, which requires you to connect your ledger to your computer. Once you connect it to your computer, you can go ahead and access your Caspa interface to create addresses and send Caspa, whatever. You do not use Ledger Live. Ledger Live has not been supporting Caspa yet, but Caspa is on Ledger. So you can download Caspa on Ledger, and then you got to use Caspa, which is a website. But remember, this website is just an interface. It's just like Ledger Live. It's an interface. Your seed phrase is kept on Ledger. You create your seed phrase with your Ledger device, and it stays here, so it stays secure. There's one key. This is my one key. I have the Caspa exclusive one. This is a really good one. I just don't like one key because they have some bugs on it. Recently, I've been messing around with it, and the bugs haven't really occurred to me. Like sometimes when you're sending transaction, it's annoying, but there's a blind signing issue on one key, because when you want to send a transaction, it doesn't let you confirm the address that you're sending it to. It says like unable to decode the path. Now, this is just a little bit of a risk because you want the whole point of a device is to verify what you see on a screen, on your phone screen or on your computer. You want to verify that what you're seeing on your computer or phone screen hasn't been manipulated. And so if you're getting a one key only for Caspa, if you really want to get your money's worth, I rather you go for Ledger, because Ledger works perfectly. One key has that blind signing thing where, it's not really like a risk, like you're going to lose your funds or something like that, but it's not the best. It defeats the purpose of the device, that I can't confirm exactly the address that I'm sending my Caspa to. So that's the only flaw with one key. And then Tangem, which is a card, which I don't have one with me right now, but Tangem is a really good device. This is cold storage as well. It's a new concept, but basically you get 3 cards and you are able to store tons of different cryptos. And instead of a seed phrase, you use the 3 cards. You get 3 cards because those are your keys. You keep 1 card on you, 2 cards, you keep it in a safe or underground. You can hide it, whatever. But those 3 cards are your keys to your funds, and no one can access your funds unless they have a card and scan it to the phone through NFC technology. And then it's also password protected. So if someone steals your card, they can take it, try to scan it on their phone, but they need to know the password now. So there's that to it. But this is a cold storage device. I really do like this device. I've never had any issues with it. It works perfectly, and it's pretty much like the cheapest option as well. If you use my code Caspa Silver, you can get 10% off of these cards. So really, really good for beginners like getting into crypto. This is a good starter wallet. Then once you have more money in crypto, you probably want to look into diversifying your crypto within other wallets. Just use the web wallet. I would highly recommend to not use the web wallet, just because the web wallet can pose some risk, such as going to the wrong website or an attack on the website where you can't even like access your funds. Instead of using the web wallet, you should just use the desktop application or Caspium, which is an app to hold your Caspa on your phone. So someone told me they paid 40% fees on Bitcoin today. I paid what? So I buy a little bit of Bitcoin every week, and what I do is to avoid the fees, I build up the Bitcoin on the exchange up to like $100, because that's what I'm like most comfortable keeping on an exchange. And then once it hits $100, I send it to my wallet, my cold storage device. And so pretty much Today I sent $100 and it was like, I think it was like a $2 fee. And I was like, man, on Caspa I don't pay any fees. But let me see what Bitcoin mempool. I want to see what the fees are at right now. Yeah, the fees right now are kind of high. They're stuck at that $2. I usually like to wait and see if they can go down to that $1 range. For a few weeks, they were like at 80 cents, which was pretty good for Bitcoin, but the fees can get sometimes pretty ridiculous. All right, so it wanted to top out at that new all-time high for market cap, the 4.38, and it looks like it's gonna might consolidate here for a few days before continuing to run up, I believe. But we'll see what happens. Basically, Casplex is a layer 2. Casplex is not really a layer 2. It's on the base layer. Casplex will allow for things to be built on layer 2, but Casplex is actually it's a protocol that's built on the base layer. Because like the tokens are on the base layer. That's why the miners are able to get fees, is because it's on the base layer. Are you gonna sell all your Caspa this cycle? No, I will never sell all my Caspa this cycle. The day I sell, or the day I take profit on my Caspa, I'll make a video about that. But ultimately, my first profit taking point that I would like, no matter what, I'm gonna just take a profit, would be the 50 cents area if it gets there. But we'll see what happens. It just depends on like how Bitcoin is, and but I think the bull run still has a lot to go. When the cycle ends, so it will dump with BTC. I'm just gonna take profits and then at certain price points, and then just keep DCAing out and in possibly. But I believe Caspa is like a way longer term play. It's a global asset adopted as reserve by some countries and now nationally by state treasuries. Yeah. Yeah, that's why, Bitcoin has a lot of adoption going for it that Caspa can't compete with. So like for people that are like, "Oh yeah, Caspa's just going to pass Bitcoin," like I hope they're being clear that like they don't believe it's going to happen like tomorrow or like next year. It's not realistic. Bitcoin will eventually cost too much to move. Yes, I believe this will be a problem, and that will be the main problem for Bitcoin in the future. Power law plus trilemma solve all you need to know. Who's to say Caspa will not be surpassed by some other superior monetary tech? I get this question all the time with people saying like, "Oh, well, like, what if someone else creates something superior, some kind of text that's superior?" Well, the problem with that is the fact that 15 years have gone by and nothing has ever existed like Caspa. There's a lot of things it would need, that superior tech needs to do, because remember, Caspa is not just tech. It also has narrative behind it. Cryptocurrency is not only just tech, it has narrative behind it. The tech with Caspa is amazing, but the narrative behind it is very important. The narrative behind Caspa is actually trying to become a cryptocurrency, a currency used for daily transactions on the base layer. And to do this, it did something that no other cryptocurrency has done, which is solve the trilemma. So here's the thing. Caspa now has first mover advantage on solving the trilemma. You can only solve it one time. Once it's solved, it's solved. And the thing is with Caspa, it's proving that the trilemma can be solved, but not only can it be solved, in any fashion, it's solved only with proof of work. If it was a proof of stake system, they would not be able to do what Caspa is able to do right now. It would end up being a little bit centralized. It would not have as much security. So what Caspa is doing is entirely unique. So this system will need to innovate and solve something, I don't know, something that we don't even know that needs solving. Because right now Caspa solved the main issue in crypto, which is the trilemma, which is trying to create a system that can be perfectly secure, decentralized, and scalable, and all remain on the base layer. We have not seen that. Every cryptocurrency has to sacrifice something to do that, and Caspa is the first to truly not sacrifice anything. And not only that, it sticks true to Bitcoin's principles that makes Bitcoin great, which is that there's no company behind it, there's no allocations, VCs, or anything like that. It was completely fair launch. It's proof of work. Proof of work is a very big industry, and I think it's the only way to make an actual currency exist is proof of work, because now the currency is not only, it's not tied to just like internet things, it's actually tied to something that's in the physical world, which is mining. So it's tied to real world energy. So it makes a currency much harder sound money. So there's a lot of things that would need to go into something being more superior. And if something is superior, it would take at least like 10 years or more, because Caspa took 10 years to get to where it is today. So Caspa has 10 years of like research behind it. So something else needs to come out and have that kind of like background, because that's another thing, narratives and stuff like that. BTC will eventually go to layer 2s and layer 3s. Goodbye decentralization. Hello fractional reserve status. Yeah, and this is my biggest problem with Bitcoin, is that in the longer run, it's going to be running to layer 2s and layer 3s. And the Bitcoiners are like, yeah, like, like they're just embracing it. And I'm like, this is literally going against the whole purpose of cryptocurrency in the first place. When you're going to layer 2s and layer 3s, you are now bringing back a middleman in the conversation, which is the whole opposite of what cryptocurrency was intended for, was to not have a middleman in between operations. So like there's something that was recently coming out called the liquid network mempool. So the liquid network is a network that allows you to lock your BTC to then use LBTC, which is like paper Bitcoin, so that you can move it around and the fees not be ridiculous. But for this to work, you need to lock up your Bitcoin. So look at all of this Bitcoin that's getting locked up. So right now it's currently sitting at like, approaching 4,000 Bitcoin that's been locked up. To be excited about this getting adopted is not really good, because the more Bitcoin that gets locked up and is not being used, that means the miners are not going to get paid, because no one's moving Bitcoin on the base layer. They're moving Bitcoin on other layers where the miners don't exist. So like, these blocks over here, the fees was like a penny. This penny fee didn't go to anybody. It didn't go to a miner, at least. It goes to the company that made this. I don't know. To me, layer 2s is a scam, low-key. Like, it's just like it just defeats the whole purpose of cryptocurrency. So Caspa actually like is an alternative to Caspa is my hedge against Bitcoin, basically. That's why I have allocated like 99% of my money that's within crypto to Caspa, because it's my hedge against Bitcoin, but I still buy Bitcoin because I don't completely believe that it's just going to like go to zero or something like that anytime soon. Why do people invest in Solana when it crashes constantly? Because they want to make money fast, very quick. They want quick money because people just care about fiat and getting more and more fiat, which, I'm not sitting here saying I don't care about making money. I don't care about fiat, but I also care and understand that keeping my fiat, holding dollars is not safe. Continuously just wanting to stack dollars and put it into the stock market, put it into high yield savings account, that's not a safe thing to do, because I don't believe that, the dollar sitting in a bank is only losing value. I need something that will protect my purchasing power longer term. And the thing is, people, Solana, Ethereum, all these other cryptocurrencies, they're not built for that kind of type of an investment vehicle. They're just built for, pumps, pumps pretty much, and then like pump and dumps, because they're heavily manipulated by like VCs and all that kind of stuff. So that's how it is. Every coin on the top 100 has a tier 1 exchange except for Caspa. Yeah, pretty much. Caspa, I think, is the only one that is not listed on anywhere significant. So pretty crazy, because, Caspa is 26 and it's still not listed anywhere significant. Let's see. Man, you guys are trying to keep up with the chat, but you guys keep chatting. With L2-3, there will be multiple claims on every BTC, paper BTC. Yeah, exactly. Paper BTC is definitely yuck. Like, you don't want to be holding paper BTC. And that's what ETFs are, is paper BTC. People will find out the hard way, I believe, when it comes to the ETFs. Caspa will need true smart contracts to get to top 5. It can run against ETH, though, in a couple years, no doubt. I don't know if it needs true smart contracts, because you can do pretty much a lot of things that smart contracts can do with Cplex. So I don't think it absolutely needs it. There's a lot of other factors of why Caspa gains value. It's not just because of smart contracts and tokens. But it is necessary for Caspa to thrive long term too. I rotated out of BTC for Caspa. I did that last year. I had a decent position in Bitcoin at like $20,000. I had started buying at like 15,000, and I sold all my Bitcoin for Caspa at like 2 cents. It was like, yeah, Caspa was like 2 cents when I sold all my Bitcoin. And then I just kept buying Caspa like crazy, loading up on it. And then it got to a point where Caspa hit prices where, it's not as significant to be putting so much money into Caspa, because, it made a lot of gains already. So now I decided to de-escalate how much I was allocating to Caspa, and now start kind of allocated, have some risk management and start allocating to Bitcoin. Because when the ETFs got announced for Bitcoin and it crashed because they kind of sold the news, I took that opportunity to start buying Bitcoin. And I actually made a video, like literally, I think it's in this video. Is Caspa in a zero-sum game with Bitcoin? Yeah, and I think it might have been this one. Yeah, Caspa beat Bitcoin, my strategy going into the possible build run. This video right here is when I like announced that Bitcoin had just crashed because of the ETF, and then I had said in that video that I was going to start rebuying Bitcoin. Not a lot, but just like dollar cost averaging into it. And I'm still dollar cost averaging into it. I buy both Bitcoin and Caspa every week. I still buy more Caspa though. But that's where I feel comfortable for risk management. But you're saying here, but you will rotate back in Bitcoin after we make it from Caspa. See, I don't believe personally, I just don't believe that's the right move. I believe the better move is to either just keep like, if you're going to take a profit from Caspa, I don't believe taking the profit to throw it in Bitcoin is the move. personally. If I'm gonna take a profit from Caspa, it's to literally use it for something in the real world, uh, and use that money to better myself financially. So like use it towards acquiring a home or acquiring a better savings nest egg so that, I could prepare for a home or something like that. And just to take profits off the table. But I wouldn't be taking a profit from Caspa to be putting it back into Bitcoin. I rather just keep it in Caspa longer term. Is there a Caspa documentary? There's not a Caspa documentary, but yet at least. But there's books about Caspa. I think there's like 3 different books about Caspa now, which is crazy that people just keep writing books about it. Hello, bro. Always good to learn with you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you learn things here, because that's my goal, to hopefully have people learn things. Will Caspa transfers fees go up with the gas fees? No. So like with Caspa, the fees are pretty much fixed. They're not built in a way where like if congestions comes in, it rises like crazy. The fees is not exactly the same like Bitcoin, and and Caspa is also able to handle a lot of transactions. So the more transactions it can handle, the less the fees will ever have to really go up. But like Cplex has made some fees that they can do with their protocol, that if you make a token on Cplex, you got to pay 1,000 Caspa to make a token. But then to move the token around and all that kind of stuff is going to be normal network fees, which is like practically zero. If Caspa had the network effect of Bitcoin, wouldn't Caspa fees be higher as well? Yeah, I was just explaining that basically. So no, because Caspa can handle much more transactions than Bitcoin can handle. That's why it's upgrading to 10 blocks per second, which I should probably have that playing while we're talking. Caspa NG. So if I go to the block tag here, and there you go. This is always fun to look at. So this is 10 blocks per second on Caspa. This is the testnet. But this will soon be coming to Caspa. We're currently at, where are we? 89%. Yeah, about 90% of all the blocks are currently being done on Rust, which is really, really good to see. But yeah, this is 10 blocks per second. Really, really cool to watch. This allows for 3,000 transactions per second. Any update on why it's pumping? Honestly, it's been consolidating for like 4 months. And so, it's pretty much how the cycle goes with Caspa, is like it consolidates for 4 months and then it goes up again, and then it consolidates for 4 months, 3 to 4 months, and then it goes up again. So, look, like I drew some lines here from all-time high to all-time high, 122 days. From all-time high to the next all-time high where it broke, 90 days. From all-time high to the next all-time high that it broke, 90 days. From all-time high, and now we're getting close again to the next all-time high that it breaks, it's about the same amount of time, which is it's very interesting that it literally this trend just keeps playing out. We're about 106 days. The longest it's ever taken for Caspa to create a new all-time high was 122 days. And this is when the ASICs came out and people were flooding like crazy because they were like, ASICs are going to kill Caspa. And that was like the first huge correction, which was like 71%. I remember I started buying like here. Oh yeah, look at this one. All-time high to all-time high, 90 days. It's like a pattern. Like it kind of keeps sticking to this kind of pattern that every time it makes an all-time high, it takes about 3 to 4 months to get to a new one. And right now we're kind of repeating it again. You have 90 days, and right here we're at 106. So as long as it doesn't pass 122 days, which it doesn't look like, it looks like we might make a new all-time high in less than 122 days. So it's kind of following this kind of cycle so far. It's very interesting. Where do you see this run reach? I don't know. Just looking at, I only just look at past things, you know, and just seeing how much percentage from bottom to top, you know, it gained to each new all-time high. If we're looking here, you know, from bottom to top, which this was a new all-time high, but it just didn't last that long. Well, no, the real bottom was down here. This was a crazy gain. That was 300%. You know, so I'm like guessing that maybe this could be an all-time high breakout where it makes a really good new high. So like if I was guessing around the range of the percentages, it would be 100 to like 150-ish, maybe a little bit higher. So, you know, I'm thinking 27 is just, but you know, I'm just guessing. Like I don't really know. I'm not, you know, I don't have a magic ball to tell you. I don't really, if you watch my channel, you know, I don't really talk about price like that. The live streams is where you can kind of get me talking about price a little bit more, but I don't focus too much on it. Caspa nodes are at 92%. Do you know Caspa projects will launch at? Caspa projects are going to be launching on Cplex, but currently it's still in testing. They're going to launch this month, but it's currently testing. Chili Peppers donated $5. Thank you so much for your donation, man. Really appreciate that. Do you think Caspa will just hit a double top or going to start developing a cup and handle pounder? I don't think it's going to hit a double top. I mean, so many times people have called for a double top. I mean, right from here to here, was that a double top? From here to here or here, was this a double top? I mean, every time it's about to hit a new all-time high, people think it's just a double top possibly, but I don't know. I think long-term Caspa is going to be higher than today just simply because I believe the bull run is still just starting. I mean, Bitcoin's under all-time high right now still. So I think Bitcoin's going to go way higher long term. Isn't the insanely low fee a long-term concern for Caspa? It's not really a concern because the fee can always be adjusted if needed. What's important for now, because right now it's not a concern at all. Like there's no worry about it. This doesn't become a concern unless two things happen. Number one, the price does not do well. And two, the block reward falls so low and the price doesn't do well enough to compensate for that block reward, that then now, okay, the fees are definitely not going to be enough. But that's why the focus right now is to bring adoption to Caspa in terms of usage. So that's why Casplex is now here. Smart contracts are going to be coming in the future, you know, tokens, NFTs, all that stuff, DeFi, all that stuff needs to come to Caspa because that will create enough transactions so that it will create fees. Now the fees won't probably be 0.001 Caspa forever. But you know, there's a sustainable world out there with Caspa being at a certain price point and the fees will only ever be maybe 10 cents. You know, it's obviously not going to be free. That cannot work in a system like Caspa or any proof of work system. It can't just be free. But, you know, I think it makes sense as at least if it's just like 5 cents, 10 cents and nothing more, you know, nothing crazy. I think that's fine. I mean, 5 to 10 cents to use a network that is securing my purchasing power long term, I wouldn't mind. How did you find Caspa initially? So I found Caspa back in, so I have a video. Purpose for my channel. Yeah, discovering Caspa and the purpose of my channel. It's a 30-minute video, but there I talk about like my whole entire background, like who I am, how I got into crypto and all that kind of stuff. And then how I found Caspa. But I found Caspa simply by being on the Bitcoin community um, within CoinMarketCap, and I was just looking at people commenting things, and a person commented saying, "Did you know that Satoshi made Caspa?" And this was back in March of 2023. And when I saw that comment, I was like, at that moment, I was becoming a Bitcoin maxi. Like I had sold everything and I was just going to focus on Bitcoin because I was just tired of messing around with crypto. You know, I didn't want to just throw my money around, and I like to practice good risk management, but still have a good reward long term. And I'm a long term investor, I'm not a trader. So I was just kind of sticking with Bitcoin. But then the fact that someone was shilling Caspa, saying that Satoshi made Caspa, I was like, why in the world? I've never heard someone try to like shill a meme coin or anything like that by saying Satoshi did this, you know. So that was just it just caught my attention. So I clicked Caspa on CoinMarketCap and I found it. And when I found it, it was like all the way, yeah, it was like about, I want to say I remember started buying like at 1.8. Yeah, it was like about right here when I found it. And when I found it, I was transitioning to Bitcoin, but I still had money in like other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum and VeChain and Chainlink and junk like that. And so eventually I was doing my research on Caspa, and then I was like, this is literally a gem. Like this is something huge. Like just from my research, because I had that Bitcoin knowledge. I was researching Bitcoin extensively. And I believe when you understand Bitcoin and everything, and then you find Caspa, it just really helps to, you're like, yeah, I mean, Caspa is what crypto is supposed to be. Like this is what Bitcoiners really wanted in the beginning, and what all the hard forks of Bitcoin are trying to do, but they just are not succeeding with. And so I started selling like all my coins except for Bitcoin, and I threw it all in Caspa. And I remember I wrote it up all the way to 4 cents. I got involved with the community a little bit. And I just loved the fact that it was like community driven. Like I can actually have a say in the community. And so I started looking for YouTube videos about Caspa. I was like, you know, what's on YouTube? There was like nothing. There was like nothing on YouTube. It was just people doing like price predictions and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like tired of that stuff. Like I like the tech side of things when it comes to Caspa or cryptocurrency in general. Like I like fundamental analysis and like just digging deep, doing research, stuff like that, because I want to protect my investment. You know, this is my money, my hard-earned money that I'm putting into an investment vehicle. I want to know what I'm putting my money in. And so I watch a lot of Bitcoin University, and I like his style of explaining Bitcoin, and I learn a lot from his videos. His videos are great. I'm still waiting for his video on Caspa. He said he's going to make one, but he hasn't made it yet, and I'm still waiting. But this dude actually blocked me at one point, but then he unblocked me. So I'm glad he unblocked me, and I'm glad he's open for discussion. A little bit more for Caspa, but you know, of course, he's a Bitcoin maxi. It is what it is. But I liked his style of videos, but I don't like any like talk. I try not to be as toxic, you know, like I'm not a Caspa maxi anyways, because I still hold Bitcoin. So, but I realized no one was making content good enough that I like to watch, that I would want to watch about Caspa. And I was like, you know what? I'll just try to be that guy then and make that kind of content. And so I dove in, started making videos, and today, you know, yesterday we hit 10,000 subscribers. Like it's crazy, like all within like a year. So that's pretty much my history with Caspa. And I try my best to help the community. I actually have written some tutorials in the Caspa wiki. I try to help support the community as much as I can to ensure that Caspa grows. Will using the Casware wallets be the best way to buy Caspa meme coins or Tangem? I'm really not sure what will be the best way. I'm still waiting for Casware to finish their integration of everything, and then I'm gonna do a review of Casware and kind of just do a tutorial over the wallet. But we'll see. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think the chance Jonathan is Satoshi or was part of the group that created Bitcoin? I would just say 50%. 50% chance that he was maybe a part of the group. I don't know, but I don't know. That's mainly just rumors. Let's see here. Wow, 101 concurrent viewers. You guys are awesome. You say if needed when something about Caspa is controversial, it needs to be done already. If not, there is doubt about the base of the things in theory. What was your previous comment? Because I'm trying to understand what you're saying there. If Caspa had a network, wouldn't Caspa fee be higher as well? Yeah, I don't remember exactly what I said, and I don't know exactly what you are responding to. You did say that Caspa had the network effect of Bitcoin. Wouldn't Caspa's fee be higher as well? And the answer to that is they will be a little bit higher longer term, but the fees on Caspa does not work the same way as Bitcoin. They don't just rise like a bidding war kind of thing. And also Caspa is able to handle, like, if all the transactions on Bitcoin moved over to Caspa, not right now, well, actually maybe right now, it probably could handle a good bulk of it. But with 10 BPS and 3,000 transactions per second, if everything just moved from Bitcoin to Caspa, Caspa can handle it with no issue, and the fees won't be a problem at all because it's not getting congested. The reason why fees go up on Bitcoin is because it's getting congested, and Caspa is able to handle that type of adoption. That the type of adoption that Bitcoin has, Caspa is able to handle it just fine. Do you think Caspa being born in Israel will give it potential headwind for worldwide adoption given the current PR issue? No, I don't believe this is an issue because like Caspa and cryptocurrency in general has nothing to do with a country. It's stateless. Caspa is completely stateless. I'm in the US. There's ambassadors all across the world that represent Caspa. I can actually show you that. But Caspa is a stateless currency. It doesn't matter where it originated from. It doesn't matter the people behind it. Caspa is being developed by people around the world now. I think there's close to about 20 different developers, and they're all around the world. Yeah, core people are in Israel, but it's not literally nothing to do with a state, a country, or anything like that. It's stateless. Anyone can use Caspa. I can use it. You can use it. There's no censorship. Doesn't matter who you are. But if I look at the ambassadors, these are all the ambassadors so far, and you can see Argentina, Australia, Austria, Canada, China, Brazil, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Israel, Japan, Korea, Kazakhstan, Netherlands, Nigeria, Philippines, Romania. Like, I can go on and on. US. These are all people that are representing Caspa. It doesn't matter where you're from. Caspa is stateless and it's for everybody. That's what a decentralized cryptocurrency is all about. Is it possible to transfer CAS from KDX to Tangem? Yes. You could transfer your Caspa from KDX to Tangem. You just copy the address from Tangem, put it in your KDX wallet. Make sure your KDX wallet is synced up to the network at 100% sync. Then you can actually move your Caspa around. Any word on when the KRC projects go live? I'm not sure. All we know is this month. Solana meme coins are rugged every day. How can Caspa meme coins be rug checked? they essentially cannot be rug checked. Um, Meme coins are made by anonymous people or just random people. They could be rugged at any moment still. There's really no way to like prevent that from happening. Just don't get involved with something that has allocations that are like ridiculous. But personally, for myself, I'm not getting involved with it at all. I'm not going to mess with tokens because I don't believe messing with tokens. It's too risky. What are the main KRC20 tokens? I don't know what are all the main ones. I've heard of a couple. You could probably find them on Twitter, but I'm gonna not really try to talk about them. I won't be talking about tokens on this channel because like I don't want to have an effect on these tokens, especially because they're so cheap and my channel's growing in popularity. You know, I don't want to be used as like oh, he said that he's gonna buy or something like that. Like I would not want to be a part of that. How and when can we buy KRC20 through our Caspa wallet, etc.? People keep asking about buying KRC20. KRC20 is not a token. KRC20 is just the protocol to create tokens. So that's like, you're not buying KRC20. You're buying, you could buy a token when they go live, but these tokens are not live yet. They're still in testing. You can see this is the Cplex website. This is the protocol behind the token development and NFTs. You can see that it's currently in testnet. And in testnet, they've paid over 195,000 fees. 18,000 transactions have been created. 156 tokens were created. And this is their white paper and everything. And I go over everything about Cplex in my video about Cplex over here. All right. Well, we're approaching an hour and it's getting late for me here. And it's been really, really fun doing this live stream. And I want to thank you guys so much for all your support. It's been a really fun journey. I'm looking forward to continuously making videos long term. I'll maybe see some other questions here. If anyone has anything, please leave them. Please leave them before I go. See if I answer anything. Kaspa posts quantum Bitcoin will need a fork at some point. Yeah, I've seen things about people being worried about quantum and stuff like that. I honestly haven't done too deep of a research like that, but that could be a problem. But I believe Kaspa has, if I recall, something in place, but I would need to do more research on that. And Prog, thank you so much for that donation. Your first super on a live stream. Who do you consider must follows in the Caspa space? I would recommend to for sure join the Discord of Caspa so that you can be involved with the community. And then for following people for Caspa, probably some there's this new YouTuber that I've been watching his content and it's good. I like it. For Caspa, he's called Plan K. This is a good person so far that I've seen his videos. True believer in Caspa, and he's one that believes that, you know, Caspa will beat Bitcoin in the long term. It's still interesting to hear his points. You know, he has in-depth videos, makes long form videos talking about Caspa and just speaking more about like the game theory, the narrative behind it, and just like the idea behind it. Really good person. Another guy is it Scheme Bum Trading? I hope I'm not butchering this. Yeah, this dude. He's on Twitter as well. This guy's probably cool to watch if you are more interested in like trading or, but he talks about Caspa. Um, Mainly, I'm pretty sure he's 100% in Caspa. He's been 100% in Caspa for a long time, but he's on Twitter, and then he made a YouTube channel. So cool dude. For maybe looking at the price. If you're more interested in looking at people who create content about price for Caspa, because I don't necessarily create that. And then following people like Shy and Jonathan and Michael Sutton, the developers and researchers behind Caspa, are good people to follow on X. If I go to, let's see, contributors. Yeah, following people like Michael Sutton and Shy, these two people are pretty active. They're pretty active on X, as well as Wolfie, Nathaniel. He's behind writing the book of Caspa. Rhubarb, he's behind marketing for Caspa. Cool to follow as well. So yeah, those are some of the people that are interesting to follow. And of course, the founder of Caspa, Jonathan. He's very quiet though. He doesn't really say much. But yeah. I would like to see you debating with Bitcoin University. That would be hilarious. I don't think he would ever be open to that. He's never debated anyone. He just makes videos. So that would be a fun video, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't mind doing it, but I don't know everything. We have like about the same experience within crypto in terms of like years, but then a lot of the things I learned from him. And then of course just have my own opinion and thinking on things because I think for myself as well. So that would be a very interesting debate. I'm so glad I found Caspa. I'm glad I found it too, and I'm glad I've helped other people find it. When to start selling and taking profit from Caspa for Caspa holder? Any advice? It's very difficult. I really can't give advice about selling because like everyone has their own financial situation. I don't know what your financial situation. It really just depends, like your goals and stuff like that. I have created my own, targets just based on how much Caspa I have and what I was able to achieve. So like, you gotta just make goals and figure out what you want to use the money for too. Because a lot of times you don't even know what you want to use the money for. Like, why do you want to make this money? What do you want to use it for? So, if you do make the money, you gotta do your research and know that there's, it's risky still, and create targets. Some people like to say, if you double your money, take out your initial investment. There's different strategies to it, but there's probably tons of content online that you can look up for like strategies of profit taking to protect yourself. Matthew Crowder from Bitcoin University has a very thin skin. He blocked Giovanni after a very mild back and forth. English degree and was calling the power law a scam. Yeah, but I personally don't like the power law. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of like the power law is a huge range. Like the price range for the power law is extremely huge, and it's like manipulated a little bit. So I don't, but I'm not someone who would know for sure. I just personally wouldn't be following it. I wouldn't be like using that as my guide. Hypothetically, say if all devs were to pass away that created Caspa, can any of us take over, or is it over? Caspa is at a current state now that if anyone was to pass away, people who are educated enough would be able to continue developing Caspa. Like, it's at a point where it's like it can keep moving forward. It's just, obviously some other people would need to take it up, but there's about like 20 different developers now. But it's kind of like the same situation with Bitcoin. If the Bitcoin core developers were to all like disappear, Bitcoin would be in a very tough spot because now it can never be updated or anything. Like nothing can be fixed. It could be a problem. I mean, things could be fixed, but like it will for sure be kind of a problem. But anyone can pick up and continue working on it. So, and Caspa's at a point where that can happen. No one needs to stick around for sure to make sure it happens, I believe. Maxis are a funny bunch. Crazy to see them push for layer 2s and 3s. It's literally on page 1 of the white paper. They haven't even read. Yeah, I think it's just there's just a lot of research that goes into the maxis. They do a lot of research and they're just convinced that this is the way, like, for Bitcoin to move forward. Gemini just sent a proposal to one of the Caspa devs in Discord. Don't know if this is real. I did see that. I don't know if that person was real, but interesting to see for sure. It's happened before in the past where they joined Discord and offer a proposal. Caspa is often said to do its own price action independently from Bitcoin, at least partly. How much price drop do you anticipate for Caspa when this Bitcoin bull run ends? I don't know. Caspa has moved independently from Bitcoin, and so it's really hard to say, like, who knows what will happen. What if Caspa will do its own thing? There's a lot of people that actually do believe that Caspa will do its own thing, and it will continue to do its own thing. Do you think Dag Knight they will create 1,000 BPS? No, they can't do 1,000 BPS. The goal would be 100 BPS is the goal, but I think 10 BPS is more than enough for what Caspa wants to do currently. Hi, new to the chat. Just wanted to say Caspa's bright, and so is BTC. We haven't even touched the real bull run, but I just know crypto's going to be insane next year. Yeah, I do believe bull run is not really fully started. We're kind of in the beginning stages of it though. But okay, that's enough. I love to answer your questions all the time. Are you a shark in Cas? If you want to know my portfolio and exactly how much Caspa I hold, you can consider joining my Patreon, where you could join my private Discord. And on my private Discord, I show my portfolio in crypto. I also show my portfolio in stocks because I do hold, I don't want stocks, I hold funds, ETFs. I have other accounts. You'll also be a part of helping Caspa grow, because your $15 that you donate, I don't just take that for myself. It does help support me and continue helping me, encourage me to keep creating content for you guys if you find it valuable. But I put some of the money into a fund to build for future proposal for Caspa. So if Caspa needs funding for like an exchange, or funding for developers, or funding for anything, some of that money all that money doesn't go to me. It goes to that funding wallet address that I have in the Discord. And then if Caspa needs anything for funding, we can all vote and go ahead and put that money towards funding to basically help with future Caspa adoption. So you'll be a part of that. You also get to talk to me whenever you want on the Discord 24/7. I'm usually always active on there. Just hit me up, whatever, and you'll be with other like-minded people that are in the Discord. So if you want to join the Patreon, you can check that out. It's $15 a month. There's not any crazy alpha on there. It's really mainly a place that to just kind of join and want to have easier access to talk to me, and then just a way to donate to the channel and support for my work that I put into making content on here for YouTube. You said after Dag Knight, will it do 1,000? Yeah, even after Dag Knight, 1,000 BPS wouldn't be possible because of storage requirements for nodes. The storage requirement for nodes would be way too ridiculous if we were doing 1,000 BPS. But who knows what will happen in the future? Technology is always getting better and innovating, so I'll leave the door open for possibility maybe, but currently I don't see it happening. All right, but that's all the questions I'm gonna answer. Thank you guys so much for watching, supporting the channel. Again, for 10,000 subscribers, be a lookout on my X account. I'll probably be doing a giveaway for 1,000 Caspa on there soon. So just go ahead, check out my X account, follow me, and so that you can be the first to know when that giveaway starts. So thank you guys again for everything. Really enjoy talking with you guys. And as always, don't be average,